In this video, we're going to check out the new public release open source firmware for the Deluge. This will be a series of episodes spread out over time so that we can deep dive each feature. We're going to cover grid mode, which will make its already rapid songwriting much faster. So originally we started off with two modes, song and arranger. You can switch, you can see solid blue is song, and then blinking is arranger. In this new firmware, we're going to be considering song mode as rows mode. So now we have grid, rows, and arranger. So we're going to have to reorient ourselves because the grid mode brings Deluge to a whole new level. So we can switch between views by holding song and turning the select knob. So we can see grid, or we can go back, rows. So now we're in grid mode. Here's the new layout. Now let's set this grid mode up as a default mode to use from now on. So here's how to make a default. Just press shift, press the select knob down. We're going to go to defaults, UI, song, layout. Now we can turn it to grid. Push back in, it goes up a menu. We also see grid here. I'm going to go in. I'm actually going to change the default active mode to green. Now there's different modes, performance and edit. I like mine to default to green, so that's how I'm going to set mine. We can also go with selection or blue, and I'll explain that later. I also have select in green mode enabled. Empty pad unarm enabled. So those are the settings I have set up. Let's exit out. It'll say saving settings. So now this is our new home screen. We need to reorient ourselves. So each pad in the grid is a clip, and each column is an instrument. So just like rows mode, if I hold down on a clip, we can see it's synth RC007. If I push down here, it's the same column because it's the same instrument per column. Let's hold this one down, synth 2, kit 0082. I want the drums to change color, so you just turn the up-down knob while you're holding that column. Can change it to a different color. So over here we have two modes, green or blue. Now my settings, again I set it to the green as the default mode. So if I hold this down, it'll switch right automatically back to green. If it was on select mode, it would just hold down on blue. If I let go, it would stay on blue, etc. So it would just switch to what you want. And then you have the inverse. So what's green and blue mode? So green mode is performance. So in other words, if we want to trigger, or we want to be in green mode. If we want to go into a clip, hold down blue. I have to hold down blue and then press it. And we enter into that clip. Press song, and then we're back into grid view. And we see a lot of empty space here, but each pad would represent a clip. I can also scroll up and down. Now we can see these colors change when we scroll up and down. These are actually the section group colors. So if I switch back to rows, we see the section colors here, all lined up on the side. You can trigger them by pushing this. If I switch back to grid, we can see it's already highlighted that section color. So we can adjust the section colors. Now if I hold down blue on a section color, that's the repeats. So I can go infinite or number. So let's say that's set to 1, it'll play first, then it'll go down to the next section color. If I'm in green mode, again performance mode, and I press a clip, it'll enable it to play. And we can also push different rows of clips. Now while it's playing, I can push the next track here, and it'll trigger the next time that bar ends. So I'll add drums, then I can press again, and it'll disable it. Disable that. If I want to go in as it's playing, I can just jump right in. I can zoom out and see what's going on. Back to the grid. Let's add this again. All synchronized in. I know it's going to start. Now if we want to immediately disable something, say the drums and the bass, hold down shift, automatically turns off. I can also hold shift and immediately turn on the row. You can jump to the middle, right in the middle of this, and hold down shift and trigger this row. Just right in the middle of the track. Doesn't re-trigger it, so if I do this, it'll trigger at the end of this up here. Now if I want to create a brand new clip from a blank pad, I have to be in blue mode. So I hold down the blue mode. Let's add a new clip under this instrument. Now it entered right into the track. So we have a blank track. I can just enter in notes if I want to. Let's delete this clip because I want to illustrate something else. So if I hold this down and press delete, it disappears. When we do this, there's no way to undo, so make sure you've saved your song file if you're worried about deleting the wrong clip. Hold down blue and then hold down the new clip. Now we're not going to exit grid view, and now we can trigger it. Now let's go into here. Now I can just add notes. Say I want to make a variation, hold down blue, hold that down, copy to a new pad. Now I can enter in, and let's trigger it, and then enter in, and maybe change the cutoff, turn down the notes, add some more effects to it. Then we can trigger this one again, it'll switch. Back to the other one. Let's actually make it lower. I can turn it on all of these. Go back up to this one. Let's delete these, hold it down, press delete. Now if we want to rearrange these columns, so we have the drums here. If I go to Arranger, so that's kit 82, let's go into here. There's kit 82, I can hold it down, let's move it to the top. Now I can go back in, and we can see it's on this side now, kit 82. Let's go back to grid view. We see all the instruments here. Let's add a new instrument here. So I'm going to hold down blue and press here. So we can go into it. It says synth 0. I'm going to jump into the clip. So I'm going to hold down blue, jump in. Now I'm going to shift synth. We're going to create a new synth here. I'm going to keep this really basic. Okay, so we have a very basic clip there. Now, again, I can just hold down blue, push down on the two pads. Now go in. Now maybe change the note. So now we have that, and then we have that. Let's say I want to copy this one down. So hold down blue, and then copy it down. And we're going to go into this clip. We're going to trigger it. Go into it. Let's change something like the cutoff. Add some delay, some reverb, so I can switch between those two. It's going to have all those effects on. And there we go. So now for this, let's add a quick kit here. So I'm going to hold down blue, press here. We're going to go to kit. I'm going to choose a kit here. Turn down the volume. This is an incredibly basic beat, but there we go. So it works. Now we can arrange all these different ones. So I can, let's say, copy the drums down here and then trigger these drums. Now let's maybe make more hi-hats. So now we can switch between these. So we can also resample. So I'm going to choose some of these. Let's resample. Switch. Turn off resample. Now what I'm going to do is disable those. Let's create a new kit here. So we went in, shift kit. Now there's our resample. I'm going to hold down the select knob. We're going to choose slice. Let's bring it down to 8 slices. Now I'm going to hold shift and press right down here to mode. It'll say once, hold down effect entire, turn it to cut. Now we exit. Now we can see the actual clip. And I can actually resequence from that. So there we go. Let's copy that down here. Trigger it and jump in. Let's change this one. We can also ratchet. So now we can go back here. You can hear that. You can hear this one. Let's say I want to copy that down and then go back in. Now let's do effect entire. Let's like change the pitch. Add a little reverb. Let's go back up here. So you can do entire columns of things like this. Currently we only have 12 sections, but we have a lot of room. We can do a lot of stuff here. We can also create audio clips. So hold down blue, press the new clip, and then hold down the select knob. And now we have an audio track. We can go in and then hold down shift, browse. We can load that right in. And what that's gonna do is time stretch to the tempo. So make it faster or slower, and it's auto time stretch. Now I can copy that down, for example, and trigger it and jump in. And we can change this one. Turn up the pitch, turn down the cutoff, turn up a little reverb. You can also hold down shift, and if we turn it, it's going to scale it. Let's bring it way down here to 4 bars. So it's faster than it was. And switch between those. So you could load like break beats all the way down if you want to. So what I can do from here, now this is a little messy because if I trigger this is going to be a really loud mess because they're separate parts. So what I would want to do is to copy all these tracks down lower or out of the way, or I could just reload my original project. So let's do that. So let's create a Midi clip. So blue, empty pad, press Midi. We're going to go to channel 5. Now from this screen, I can hold learn and say press this pad. If I press a key, now that key is going to trigger that specific grid. You can undo it by holding learn and press it. So we can learn any of these pads here. Let's go into the clip. I'm going to hold learn and press this. Now I'll press a key on my keyboard. You can see. Now it's learned. So let's listen to this and press play. Now I'm just going to insert in some notes. So I'm enabling record and press play. Now I'm going to play these on the keyboard. So now It's looping. We can even hear it right there. So let's go down here. So let's create a new clip here. Hold it down, let go, enable it, and now we can play over this. I'm going to turn it off, and now that's going to loop. You can even go in, zoom out, and scroll up. We can see that's what I recorded. Let's turn this off and this off. Hold down shift, immediately turns it off. Now we're just going to go down here. So I'm just going to press all of these and it's going to jump into here. We can add now I want to disable all these and just do this one. So let's press them all and enable that. Notice how it jumped to the other one. I'm going to hold down on here. We can turn up the cutoff. Go the next one down. Like an atmospheric clip. Let's turn that off, see what it sounds like. Change the cutoff. Now let's play down here, all of it. Go up here, it'll include, actually let's turn all these off and just do this Midi. Again, if I want to enable it all immediately, hold down shift. Let's go down to here. Here we go. Now let's change the repeat of this. So hold that down, repeats, make it 2. This one will be 2. Let's start it down here. And then let's go back up here. All right, so 2, 1. I can turn the knob to change that too. 2 times, 1. Okay. So now the last part of this I'm just going to show is how to record to Arranger. So if I press song, we're in Arranger. I'm just going to clear it. So go back into song view. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to enable this clip. And then what I'm going to do is hold down record and press song. This is going to record everything into Arranger. And everything's right here. So it's going to be really easy to select what I want. Also solo, if I hold down left right now it just solos that. It'll show what's coming if I disable it. So I press off of it and see, and disable it down and then press it again. Now it's going to disable the solo and go right back. And on to everything. Alright, now press this to go to next and disable everything except for this one. So far so good. Now we're going to go down here and disable these two. Go down here, which is resampled. So this is like resampled what I showed earlier. Let's go down here. Another resample. We can look at it if we want, but I'm just gonna let this go. Now let's press here. Another resample with drums. So I have a variation of drums down here. So yeah, I can just keep going for a long time. I haven't even tested how long, but it can go very long. Each clip here can go above 10,000 bars. So you don't have to worry about length issues on the Deluge. So now what I'll do, just to stop, is just disable. And now let's press stop, press song. Now I can see and scroll through, zoom out. We can see everything that I did here all the way through to the end. And this is arranged by instrument. So just like in this view, this is the instrument. Now you're looking at it horizontally. And then you see the song sections in each part of this. Also, there are different record modes. So if I hold down record, I can enable and disable. We can change if it's going to be a static clip length or if it's going to keep going until you turn it off. On an audio clip, if you hold blue, hold down learn and click on it, it'll say audio source. So we can change the source of the audio clip when we're recording, if that's what we want to do. Once it's set, click in, and then we can record something into it. So let's just choose this. We're going to record into that clip. Now it's playing it. I disabled it, so it's just there now. And then we can manipulate it, etc. from here.